What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, I've never been a big fan of this guy, personally myself, but I will say, if you go by the numbers, I would say, he would be a pretty decent fit for the Clippers if they found a reason or found a way to acquire him, I would say. And the guy I'm talking about is Harrison Barnes. Played for the Kings. And Harrison Barnes, last year he averaged about 16 points a game, about 5 or 6 rebounds. He did shoot somewhere close to around 47%, from the field. I think it was 46.9, I think to be exact, but somewhere around that ballpark. And he shot like 39% from the three-point range. So if you go by the numbers, I would say Harrison Barnes would be, an ideal fit for the Clippers because, you put him alongside Kawhi and PG, that's another weapon that they can utilize to their advantage. So when we talk about having players stretch the floor, well, if you go by his numbers, he can stretch the floor very well for the Clippers and add more, another dimension to their offense. And I think, he's a little tough on defense as well. I can remember him being on the Warriors when he won a championship with the Warriors. This was a few years back, but, he still has a lot of that ability in him. So I just think being on the Sacramento Kings and teams like that, a lot of your abilities, you just tend to not utilize them to the highest degree because you're not on a team that's worth a damn and you're not on a team that's going anywhere anytime soon. So, a lot of times you play down to your competition or you become a product of your environment, which is not that great of an environment that he's in right now. Even though there are some talented players on the Kings, overall as a unit, the Kings and teams like that, the Pacers and teams like that, overall, those teams just really don't seem to flourish and get nowhere or get any further than what they do year after year. So I will say this, like I said, I've never been a big fan of Harrison Barnes, but if you go by the numbers, as I said, and, his size, he brings a little bit of toughness on defense. And he's won a championship before. So when you add that and you combine all that, he's a pretty good, he's a valuable piece. He really is, and I think somebody like Ty Lue would definitely like, some of his assets that he has in regards to what he can give the Clippers because he gives them size. He can stretch the floor, knock down threes at a pretty decent clip from what we, from going by the numbers of last season. And he can give you 14, 15 points a game on average if he's given the minutes to do so. So, when you think about that, I wouldn't say he's a bad pickup or anything like that for the Clippers if they got him. I personally would try more so to go after, Pascal Siakam, the guy I talked about before from the Raptors. I think he's a little bit more talented. I think overall, I think he's a better overall player, if you ask me personally. But if you can't get him and if you find yourself in a situation and Harrison Barnes is available and the Clippers feel like they need him, well, hey, why not? Go after him if you think he can help, add to really what you have. If he's not going to make much of a difference, there's no need for the Clippers to go after him. Now, me personally, if you ask my opinion, I don't know how much of a difference he could make for the Clippers, but I don't think he would hurt the Clippers if he was a part of the roster because, like I said, with his numbers, he definitely can't hurt the Clippers if he can mimic that of what he did last year, which is the numbers I gave you, the 16 points and, the rest of it. So with that being said, he can definitely help. I'm not sure he definitely wouldn't hurt the Clippers, I'm not sure how much he would help, but he definitely wouldn't hurt. So in saying that, it wouldn't be a bad pickup, but me personally, I just think that, the Clippers right now, they got so much of everything, I just feel like everything that they have right now is good enough to win a championship. Now, of course, like I said, some teams, they want to get greedy. They want to add more. They want to get all the best that they can get. And there's nothing wrong with that if you think that's the way to go. Clippers, like I said, as a team right now, they have everything they need to win the championship. If you ask me, they got everything they need to win it. So adding pieces here and there, I guess it can't hurt, as I said, but really, if you got everything you need to win right now, Like, why even, go after anybody else unless it's a player like Siakam or somebody like that? Now, I can see Pascal Siakam because, like I said, he is a future type player, a player that you can eventually build around because he's won a championship and he was the second best player on a team to win a championship. So his ability and everything is a lot higher than somebody like, Barnes because, Harrison Barnes is good, but like I said, I don't really feel like he would, he's putting the Clippers over the top or something like that. As I said, I feel like the Clippers got all they need to win a championship like right now, today. So if they have a chance to get Pascal Siakam or somebody like that, then yeah, go for that. But other than that, I mean, I probably wouldn't, put too much out there for players like Harrison Barnes. If it's really a situation where you're getting him for nothing almost and you're not losing anything or any valuable pieces in return, as I said before, that's always the way to go if you can do it. Now, I don't think they would have to ask for much, or, I don't think the Kings would ask much for Harrison Barnes in regards to, any type of trade or anything, because like I said, being on the Kings, your stock and your value just goes down anyway. What little stock Harrison Barnes had a couple seasons ago has been gone since he's been on a team like this, because this team just isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It doesn't matter how good you play on a team like this, like the Kings or somebody like that, you don't really get that credibility like that, because when you play for teams like that, you always have the green light as a player, as a star player, or as a potential star player, or whatever the case may be, because they don't really have too much else in regards to talent. They have some talented pieces, but they're not a talented team altogether that can win. So they don't really have but so much to offer anyway. So when I think about the numbers that Harrison Barnes put up last year, sometimes that could be a little trickery to that, because the numbers that he put up last year on the Kings and the team that he was on, it could be more or less because he was on a team like that, where he put up those numbers and 39% shooting from the 3-point range, because you're on a team where you have the green light. You know what I'm saying? You're on a team where if you win, that's good. That's a plus. If you lose, it's expected. You see what I'm saying? So when you're playing on teams like that, a lot goes out the window because you're playing on a team with no expectations. But when you play on a team with expectations, like the Clippers, or a team that's, running for a championship this upcoming season, the pressure, everything is different. I don't know if Harrison Barnes will shoot 39% from the 3-point line being on a team like the Clippers. He might, but he might not, because this team really has expectations. They're not a team where they're in the hunt for a number one pick in the draft every single season. And basically, they're not one of those lottery pick type teams, you know what I'm saying, that's just, losing a lot of games every season, getting the top picks coming there because they're not winning enough games throughout the season. They're one of the worst teams in the whole sport or the whole NBA. They're not one of the, like the Clippers are not one of those teams. So it's like when you're on a team with more pressure, the pressure mounts more, and it's harder to be more effective because it's more expectations of you. So this is why I said sometimes you gotta, be wary of people's numbers in regards to the numbers they put up on certain teams, because certain teams, you could put up 25, 30 points a game and lose damn near every game in the season, and your stock hasn't went up any further because the team is not expected to do anything, and you're playing that good because you got the green light and the team is just that trash. So, I mean, I don't want to diminish anything Harrison Barnes has done so far, where he is. But at the same time, like I said, the Clippers have to ask themselves, is he really, worth bringing on? Is he going to make life a little bit better? Is he going to add to the depth of what the Clippers have? Sure, he can add in regards to being another body, another physical long wing that they might have, but they got enough wings. You see what I'm saying? They got enough defense. They got enough of everything. It would just be a situation where Harrison Barnes might not even get that many minutes if he comes to the Clippers. So, you got to look at that too. But nevertheless, we'll see what happens, whether they, find a way to get Siakam, or, Harrison Barnes is on the list as well of a potential player they can acquire. Nevertheless, we'll see what happens, see who else they might possibly bring on, or they might just stick with what they have and say, F it. Let's go win a championship with what we got. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.